What's up everybody, my name is KAAYALL, and it feels really good to be doing one of these videos again. So today I am going to be reviewing a film, and I'm going to be reviewing the Joker movie. I watched it yesterday on the 10th of October, and it's still, it resonated in my brain, and, I have to make one of these videos again. I've got a lot of films to review, and hopefully, over time, I get to do these reviews. So my idea is that I'm going to review the latest movie I've watched and work backwards from that. So I'm going to end up with doing the Joker film like today, and hopefully I'll end up with doing Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I was supposed to review last August, and for some reason I just skipped it and went straight to reviewing the Venom movie. Yikes. So the Joker movie, directed by Todd Phillips, is about Arthur Fleck, who is a wannabe comedian, but he's not really good at it. And he's also a part-time clown, but he gets himself into some sort of trouble. And it basically follows his descent into madness as society treats him so badly that he ends up becoming his alter ego self, the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, and I do apologise about that. He is amazing as the Joker. I think he'll go down in history as one of the best Jokers that we've seen on screen. And it's interesting because I feel like there are cues and vibes they take from sort of Heath Ledger, and obviously the Robert De Niro movie Taxi Driver. I feel like the film takes a lot of inspiration and influence from that, as well as the Killing Joke DC comic book series. Arthur Fleck starts off as a comedian, wannabe comedian, part-time clown who wants to be sort of noticed by people, and obviously society treats him so harshly it drives him insane. He snaps, he kills, and then people start to notice him. He's very sort of trapped and stiff and not himself as Arthur Fleck, but when he becomes the Joker, he's dancing, he's wearing bright colours, he's just himself, and it's just a different vibe. It's a really creepy thing as well when you see Joaquin Phoenix, especially when he sort of like staring off into the distance, or he's just silent for a few moments. And then as the Joker, that manic laugh that he does, it's so good, and it's so creepy, and it's very sort of iconic in a way. I really like the setting. So this film is a standalone film from all the other DC films that have come out, and I like that because it's not connected. And it's set in the 80s, so the time period is perfect. The iconography is really nice. It shows like a mundane city. You see in the Dark Knight movies, it's kind of like a big haven of tower blocks and buildings and structures. In this movie, it's all sort of one sort of colour, and it's a real clear representation of sort of Arthur Fleck's sort of depression. I really like one particular sort of iconography in the film, which is the stairs, which by people on the internet have dubbed as a religious sort of monument. They call it the Joker stairs. So at the beginning of the movie, we see Arthur Fleck ascend the stairs, and the colours are all grey and dull, the music is very monotonous, and everything is very, like, stoic. You don't feel anything, and it's just very dull. And then, by the end of the movie, when Arthur becomes the Joker, he descends the stairs, and he's dancing, and there's bright colour and lighting, there's a nicer music playing, everything is just all vibrant. And it's just really interesting to see that sort of iconography used in such a way. It's sort of weird. It's like a stairway to sort of heaven and hell. Him going up to heaven is not really heaven. Him descending down into hell is kind of him. And he's really feeling himself, and he's more free as the Joker. I'd describe this film as dark and disturbing, but that's not a bad thing. That's what makes the film great. It sort of makes you uncomfortable, but for a very good reason. You're seeing this guy, this mentally unstable guy, become a madman, and you really see it. It's sort of very tense and very unnerving, especially at the end of the movie when he is going to kill Murray on the talk show. It says you know what's coming, but you just still feel uncomfortable about it. And that's what I like about this film. You're not supposed to... You sympathise with the character, but you sort of don't sort of trust what they're going to do at the end, and you sort of don't want them to do it, but you just have to sit there and watch as a spectator as he does what he does. And he has his own reasons for it. This movie really does play on realistic themes, quite dark themes about society treating people that are different in a way. You know, Arthur's got a laughter condition where he laughs uncontrollably, and that's only due to the fact that he's under stress and sort of negativity, and he can't help that. And everyone around him doesn't really accept him for who he is. So during the course of the movie, he's trying to be someone that everyone can accept, but society still rejects him. Whereas by the end of the movie, he becomes who he wants to be, which is the Joker. And people weirdly support him. As there's a big protest throughout the movie about the poor and the rich. Obviously, Arthur kills some wealthy rich guys on the train, and there's a big protest about the protesters supporting the Joker and rioting around. And by the end of the movie, he accepts himself to be the Joker, and he's free to do what he wants and doesn't care what society thinks. And in a weird way, he is supported and appreciated by that. People notice him. This whole movie is about him wanting to be noticed. At the beginning of the movie, he's a nobody. At the end of the movie, he's kind of like a saint, like a saviour of the city. But one of my favourite sequences is when he becomes the Joker. You know, as I mentioned previously, he's now accepting himself to be someone different and unique, and he's embracing that, and he doesn't care what society thinks. You know, he's dyeing his hair green, he's putting his white face paint on, and he's dancing around in his briefs. And it's just like he's free. He's got this sort of freedom behind him, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks. And then, of course, afterwards, he kills more people. He kills one of the fellow clowns that kind of betrayed him. Who gave him the revolver, which obviously led to Arthur being fired, which then obviously triggered him further to kill. I also like the sequence on the night show. You know, he's always wants to be on the show, but then the talk show host kind of insults him and just wants to make fun of him, and obviously he knows that deep down, and he retaliates and ends up killing Robert De Niro character Murray. And it's just such a really good tense sequence that I really enjoyed a lot. There was sort of a moment where he kisses one of the talk show hosts, and that reminded me of this kind of parody thing that Heath Ledger did in an interview, where a fan was like in awe of seeing Heath Ledger, and then he kisses her and then she faints. It sort of reminded me of that. So there are sort of nods to Heath Ledger's Joker, especially at the end of the movie when Arthur Fleck is in the back of the police car. There's a shot-for-shot moment. So there's a shot in The Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, where Heath Ledger's Joker is like riding in the cop car, you know, screaming and having the window open. A lot of people relate to that sequence and relate to this one as well. So that's a nice little subtle reference. So overall, the Joker movie is incredible. I think it's a really good film. It's sort of a film that when you leave it, you're like, whoa, that was very dark. And then you're like, I'm going to watch this again down the road, because it's a very interesting film, a very good concept as well. It's an origin movie of one of the most disturbing villains of the DC universe. What do you expect? It wasn't going to be light-hearted and full of puppies and rainbows, were you? No, that's for some other character. This has to be dark, twisted, and creepy because it's about a very popular villain, and that's why it was so good. I really liked Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker. I liked the 1980s sort of vibe and the setting. I certainly loved the stairs as a symbolism of him as a character developing. I really liked the sort of references to Heath Ledger's Joker and Taxi Driver as well. That's a really good movie, which actually has Robert De Niro in it as well. And I like this sort of thing about it being based on real themes, you know, about social class and accepting people for being different, you know. That's an important thing. No matter how different you are, you've got to embrace that. And everyone else around you, no matter if they don't like you for who you are, be who you want to be. Don't be someone that you're not. Well, obviously, don't end up like the Joker, because you don't want to become a madman and you don't want to kill people. That's not what I want you to do. Overall, I would give The Joker a solid 9.5 out of 10. I think it's absolutely incredible. It's going to be a classic film in the future, definitely. And I just want to see more of the Joker and where he gets up to. I really hope that they do this sequel and they include the Batman in this, because that would be fantastic and a really good film indeed. So, comment below what you thought of the Joker film. What did you think of Joaquin Phoenix? And do you think he'll be one of the best Jokers in history? I think he will be. What scenes, what things did you pick up? What sort of details did you notice in the movie that is significant and special to you, in fact? And what other themes did you pick up in the movie, and did it interest you? Because I think this is a very interesting psychological movie, and I hope Todd Phillips makes more of these films, because he did the Hangover movies, which I liked, but some people didn't, and now he's done the Joker film. What next? What will he do next? So like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I'm really hopeful that I'm going to continue making these film reviews in the future. So like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye!